Hair the Dogcast, everybody.
Welcome, welcome.
Hi, happy Sunday, everyone.
It is a Sunday.
It is Sunday. It is the end of my weekend instead of the beginning of my weekend for the first time, which is kind of fun.
Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day. It is a real thing now.
Today's the beginning of my weekend, first day off.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is Saturday.
This is Saturday
This
for
is
you.
Saturday for me.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then tomorrow's Saturday too, because I got 2
I
Saturdays.
don't
and a
think that's
Sunday.
how it works.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take it anyway.
That is
Tomorrow,
exactly how it
also
works.
Saturday.
If you're unemployed, it's always Saturday, I guess.
I
but-
mean, I guess. Are you unemployed?
No, I just got 3
okay.
days off in a row.
Oh, okay. Well, then,
Well,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
good. That's good. Hair the Dogcast, Hair the Dogcast. That's who we are. And we're part of the HyperX Podcast Network. For more information on that, check out podcast.hyperx.com. My name is Brad. I am I'm not Tom. We love Tom, though. But Tom, if you're listening, you should write in to Hair the Dogcast because we'd love to hear from you. Since
Tom, you didn't even deign to tell us that you were moving from our ancestral home.
we can't even go back to the old studio because Tom has moved.
Tom has moved.
Do you think Tom will write like an old school letter to send, like, you know, typed out?
Dearest doggies.
Well, he basically like
I am fine. Stop.
he springs it on me that we're going to be like neighbors. He's literally one block over.
Did he move?
Yeah, he just moved.
Oh, really?
And he's literally like lives right next to me, and I'm like,
cool.
well, it's dangerous to tell me that, but you know.
Since at his old place, he could always hear the same Mario Kart songs playing through his paper thin walls. I told Dylan he needs to record that and just hold the speaker up to Tom's bedroom
Yes.
at night.
Yeah.
Like that old 80s movie.
Yeah.
Hold up the ghetto blaster.
Ba-ba-ba-da-ba.
I love that smooth jazz fusion from Mario Kart 8.
Is that John Cusack? guy?
Mario
Oh,
Kart
fuck,
does
still.
have really good music.
It's pretty bombing. Have you guys played the new tracks yet?
No, we almost did the other day.
It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? There's a standout one. It's called the Secret Ninja Hideout. That one's really awesome.
Dude, are you supposed to talk about that? It's secret.
You just ruined the secret.
It's fine. I killed all the ninjas who knew,
Oh, cool.
so
Tight,
they're not going to
tight,
come
tight,
after me.
tight,
Yeah. I'm a bit of a cool samurai guy.
I'm a bit of a cool samurai guy.
I'm a pretty big deal around
Ever
here.
heard?
I'm Brad,
I'm Dylan.
I'm Jamie.
And I'm Tyler.
and we are the Dogcast. We are here today to discuss the news, what's happening in the games industry. A little bit later on, we're going to talk about the Punch-Out series because it is a fun series. But our featured brewery this episode, because we are a podcast that drinks live beer, and is Hop Butcher for the World. And I guess where does Hop Butcher for the World comes from, that name? In the poem Chicago, Carl Sandburg refers to the city as the hog butcher for the world. So instead of hogs, it's hops. I don't know if there's a lot of hogs.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I think there's
Hog butcher for the world? Is it just because they're so like fastidious?
It's pros.
Nah, it's just
Is
provocative.
that like a?
Gets the people going.
Is that like a?
It's from Chicago. Our first one we're drinking. This is the Swans of Lear.
It's got like a green.
Yeah.
This was a collaboration with a brewery called Eagle Park. I think I'm saying that right.
It's like
It does look kinda
kale power drink.
Yeah, this was made for St. Patty's Day. This is a Citra and Cashmere hopped milkshake double IPA brewed with mint and vanilla.
It smells good.
Yep. Yeah, 7.5% ABV. Like I said, collab with Eagle Park, and it is
that-
a green IPA.
Oh, that's thick. I like that.
That is good.
It's milkshake. You said?
It's a milkshake double IPA.
It's pronounced beer.
Yeah, it's a sort of it's a kind of beer.
MIL. Yeah, I know.
I do have an issue with IPAs that need to have 8 adjectives to describe them. Citra and Cashmere
that?
hopped milkshake double IPA. It's as someone who used to bartend, it's a lot of words to say when describing something.
I mean, it's
Words are
notes.
tough.
What are you going to
Words
do?
are tough.
That's yeah, you know. I don't need that many syllables to say. It tastes like a milky beer, you know. Yeah, and it's green. Generally, I don't like mint in beer. This is actually pretty good.
That's
though.
not bad.
Actually, that sits well. It's actually really refreshing.
I don't believe this is available in Wisconsin either.
Ooh, smuggled in.
I didn't think I was going to like it because I went so hard on the milkshake IPAs at Eagle Park when I got hired.
Yeah.
That they just like the thought of them make me sick now. But this is actually really good. Or
Yeah,
maybe
you know
I haven't had one in a while.
I mean, Eagle Park really got in on that ground floor of that milkshake IPA thing.
And they're good.
And I was blown away for a long time. I'm
Yeah.
like, beer can taste like this? Holy
I
crud.
think the next craze is going to be cold IPAs.
Oh.
Yeah, we had one yesterday.
Yeah, it's lager brewed IPA.
I've had it.
Big
It's
in like
all right.
West
yeah.
Coast, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Enlighten doing anything like that?
We're trying to. I'm trying to convince them. Right
nice.
now,
They should.
There's a big Avril contest going on at
Avril
Sugar
Lavigne?
Maple. Yeah, Avril Lavigne skaterboard. It's a Belgian table beer. It's like a saison, but table beer.
Okay.
Really sessionable. So, Milwaukee listeners, coming soon to Sugar Maple near you.
Oh, God,
Avril
I'll have to try that.
contest. Yeah.
Sounds fun.
And yes, so Hot Butcher for the World, we're going to be drinking some more beers with them, but they are definitely known for their IPAs. And yeah, so this was the Swans of Lear.
Are they
And
really known for killing pigs in Chicago or something?
if you're one of our Chicago listeners, please write in to tell us. Otherwise, we could look this up, but I don't feel like
This is
doing
like old-
research anymore.
Sometimes I get really angry at poems. Like I read Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, and I'm like, what is this even in reference to? I don't even understand what you're talking about. It's like, and then the fiddle monster did the dingle dang. I'm like,
Dude, that's so deep. You don't
like,
understand
oh,
that.
okay. I'm like, yes, I know what that is.
It's an allegory to political tension during the times.
It's like, my favorite game is hoop and stick. I'm like, oh, okay. How do you play it? I don't know. You roll the hoop with the stick.
That's all basketball is hoop and stick, dude.
Essentially, that's all basketball ever will be.
Isn't
let's
that a
be clear.
band, Hoopasting?
What's their famous song?
The Reason?
Yeah, the
With
reason.
one
The
note the whole
reason
time.
is you. Yeah,
Major
okay.
shout out to Halo 2 making of video where they show the audience reaction at E3 and it's a bunch of like kids with mustaches crying to that song playing and it is amazing
I'm like imagining it, and it's funny.
because they're like and it went
I've never
well and
seen
the
it.
demo went great and then it just cuts to a bunch of kids just like oh
I recently saw.
yeah and that's who mistakes the reason is playing it is obscene.
I was on Reddit, and there was someone took a picture of an ad from a gaming magazine, and it was Halo 2, and it said November 11th, movies won't mean anything anymore, and then it's just like a Halo 2 advertisement.
Halo 2 was at the time the biggest release of anything in the world.
Oh,
It was
people
bigger than
went-
any movie of all
people
time.
went fucking wild for that game.
Yeah, and
Oh my God.
Halo Infinite has had a 95% drop in players recently too. But I guess that's what happens when you release a game for free and everyone tries it right away.
I
and then
beat
moves
that
on.
game. It's over.
I think it's one of those things where you want someone to play multiplayer and get the hooks in them to come back and
Tell me when it's co-op and I can do Legendary with a
Yeah,
friend.
you know what?
Yeah.
That's what I've been waiting for since day one is co-op.
Because I would love to play with. I would play with a friend.
I would play with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. As long as you played with me.
It's
I'll
gonna go
ignore
both
you,
ways.
but it's fine.
Okay.
you're doing everything to help Dylan and Dylan just leaves you behind constantly.
I've got your back. I got your back, buddy. And I'm like,
I used to play Halo like that online. It was like, all right, 4v4. I'm the lone wolf guy. Yeah. Help us. Sorry.
We should try some Elden Ring co-op.
I'm so baffled by it.
I could power level you pretty quick, actually.
That'd be cool. I have it
That's
on
not how it
PS5,
works, though. You
It's-
can only jump in to do like boss battles with
I
them.
know. That's fine.
That's not power leveling.
It's not
Honestly, if
cross-platform,
you get Margit done early, you can get like how many souls does Margit drop?
Not that much.
15,000, I
I
think.
keep calling them souls. I'm
Ruins,
such
man,
I'm
ruins.
such a grandpa. It's like I'm like I got to plug it into the dial up.
I remember 1907.
Let's talk about the news.
Let's
Okay,
do it.
I can do that. I got some news for us.
All right, dude. Hit us with it.
Yeah, here we go.
Awesome.
We can start off with my favorite bit of news from the week, and that's the announcement of The Witcher 4. CD Projekt Red came out and officially said that the next Witcher game is in development,
Oh yeah, great.
which I'm just over the moon about.
They realized that Cyberpunk was not going to do anything for them, so let's go back to Witcher.
Change the topic, right? Witcher. We got a new Witcher.
Hey guys, remember Witcher?
It's
Well,
totally
it's
not
back.
because the Netflix show has got 2 spinoffs and totally popular, and we shit the bed with Cyberpunk.
There's 2 spin-off shows for the show as well.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a prequel series that's coming out, and then there's an animated.
Who plays little Henry Cavill?
Vesemir.
Oh, it's way before that. And
It's
then
way before that, yeah.
And then the animated one with Vesemir Blood Wolf, or
Something like
something,
Blood of the Wolf. Yeah,
Animated.
that's what it's called.
which was super good.
I have a problem with The Witcher season 2, if only because I thought the first season was such an encapsulation of those short stories that he made before he made like the actual plot of the books.
Mm-hmm.
And then they really kind of mucked some shit up in that storytelling.
Season 2 was okay. I think it was sophomore slump in my opinion. Like it's serviceable, but it missed the. Yeah, I think you said it best, Dylan.
Yeah.
Season 1 really enveloped you in it, and season 2 I found was a little bit good. It just you didn't get sucked into it as much.
And like I don't have a problem with it because the games are essentially different from the books too. Like they have the basic plot, but they take their liberties. It just within the context of a video game, it's just more interesting. It's like, oh, this works for this because it's a different medium. Yeah. Whereas like because I'll put it this way, the books they're pretty fucking sexist.
I think the first chapter of the first book is just Geralt having sex with a prostitute.
It's essentially.
I'm like 99% sure.
Isn't a lot of isn't most fantasy kind of sexist?
The way that they describe certain things and the way that women act, even like Yennefer in the books.
So they announced another Witcher game. Is this like Elder Scrolls 6, which is just a fucking logo, and they're like, it's coming in 8 years?
Essentially, yeah.
Well, all right. So CD Projekt Red did say in 2020 and early 2021 that they wanted to put out another AAA title last year, and obviously that didn't happen because they had their plate super full with the disaster of Cyberpunk.
They pretty much had to make a second AAA game as a patch to their first AAA game of the next gen.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
Jesus
expect
Christ.
Witcher 4 anytime soon, but maybe that AAA game that got pushed off.
I don't think it's going to be called Witcher 4. I think they're just going to call it The Witcher.
I think so too, and I think it's going to be
it's a different character, obviously.
Well, it has to be.
Yeah, it can't be Geralt. Geralt retires at the end of 3.
Yeah, they always said that the first 3 games were like a standalone trilogy, and then the DLC really kind of put the nail in the.
Well, let's hope it's not a Mass Effect Andromeda scenario.
Oh yeah, no. That would be bad.
The new character's name is going to be Tim.
Well, where some of our favorite characters from the Witcher trilogy get in a spaceship and go to the Andromeda Galaxy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like a good idea.
Their last name is Ryder. And
just Geralt calling aliens ugly and then cutting their heads off. I'd play that.
That's so smart.
Geralt,
it's very intelligent writing.
Geralt, it is 3022. We don't say that anymore. Or 1022. I don't know. It's not allowed anymore. Geralt.
Dude, that was so 5 years ago, man. Get over it.
I grew up in the 90s.
So the teaser is so stupid, and I really hate when companies do this because it's literally just a picture of a medallion.
Yes.
And it's in the snow, and I'm like, what am I supposed to get from this?
Yeah.
But meanwhile,
and then people are getting all hyped up. I'm like, are you an absolute gobshit idiot? Like,
there are 10 podcasts right now where they're just like, so you think it's going to be set in the winter?
Yeah.
So there's just like speculation running wild.
I hear winter is coming.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not an absolute idiot.
So the medallion has red eyes lit up. Do we think this means there might be magic?
Do you think he'll use Igni? Oh my God. Oh, do you think he'll have a dark sordid past? Whoa.
And it says a new saga begins. It's currently in development with Unreal Engine 5, kicking off a new saga for the franchise and a new technology
they're
partnership.
still getting used to that engine.
Yep.
I really hope that they need to start choosing like actual like actors for this horseshit because get voice actors who can also act physically. And just fucking model them and like mocap them.
So Tom Holland as the Witcher.
I would slit my throat.
I would too.
The world is over. I just like, and I don't even care. I like The Witcher a lot
because you need to have some big burly motherfucker.
I don't think you need him to be that burly. I think there are a lot of characters in The Witcher that aren't necessarily like. There are a lot of like Lambert. He's not buff.
Is Geralt like badass because he's the strong silent type? Like, is that something you would want in your new character? Is someone that is quiet and confident? Would you want like a cocky, fast talking?
I think you got to go.
Jokester.
I think you got to go cocky, fast talking. I don't think saga.
I don't think you can. Like notoriously, like Witchers when
They're
they get the mutations. Well, they don't. Their emotions get like basically animalized, so they have all the emotions that any other human does, but they just don't feel it as strongly. So it's like love or anything. Like
but he could be like the first offshoot, another mutation of the Witcher, and he's like a fucking jokester, right?
What if he's just a psychopath who emulates human emotion to fit in better? And
call him the Riddler.
Now
like out in the public,
he's reading jokes off his hand to people,
written in ink.
Well, I think maybe the most interesting part about Witchers in general is actually that they don't have the ability to make them anymore.
Yeah.
So like. I guess now I get to be one of those dumbasses speculating like what.
Well, and also, has all of the games been derivative of the original novels.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is this going to be taking place the first time with outside of the
It'll
land
probably
of
be
the
in a
novels?
different land.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
There are different schools of Witchers, and this one kind of looks to be the school of the cat.
I wonder if CD Projekt Red is going to take their same level of customization to the new Witcher game and let you create your own Witcher and do your own story and control how big your deck
That's
is going to
actually
be.
very
and-
interesting, yeah.
I would actually want like full genitalia manipulation.
Yeah.
Can a
That's
Witcher
very
be
important.
a male or a female?
I think so.
No, they're generally male.
Well, generally, but could they be female?
Like Siri
So
is
there's-
dating.
Is the only one that I can think
Siri,
of.
but Siri isn't. She never went through the trial of grasses, which is the mutation. That's how
you have to smoke like an entire 10 blunts. Is that the trial?
It's,
of
it's
grasses?
essentially
Snoop
like
Dogg.
the worst. It's like essentially the
Great
worst.
Witcher.
Snoop Dogg is the final boss.
It's the witchy witch, yo.
Martha Stewart's there for no reason.
In jail still.
And now bacon.
Yeah, I'd be intrigued.
Next, we got PlayStation State of Play. They did a nice 20-minute gameplay breakdown of Hogwarts Legacy, and
Oh,
I, for one,
boy.
am very excited about it. It's,
Oh, are you a Harry Potter dork?
I am a Harry Potter
Interesting.
dork because I grew up with the movies in like perfect linear fashion, where I was the same age as the characters every time
Yeah,
the
me
movie
too.
came out.
Oh, I thought you were
So-
going to say that you saw them in the right order.
Oh yeah, no,
Man, like they just kept on coming out year after year.
I was just like, here we go again.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I was the same. I read the books and watched the movies as they came out. I remember reading the books before the first movie came out. I remember reading the last one, what is it?
The Deathly Hallows.
The Deathly Hallows. I remember reading that the second day it came out.
Yeah, I read it the first week. I watched the first movie before I read the book, but then I read the book before the movie came out. So I just had a 3-month Harry Potter binge every other year when the movie came out.
It's a big bender.
Damn.
Yeah, I went pretty hard.
Got fucked up.
Yes, a 20-minute state of play seemed excessive,
On just that game too.
but the game looks really good.
Yeah,
It does look really good.
It's
I'm not
gorgeous looking.
I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it just for my wife. She's a big Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, my
Absolutely.
brother is so psyched for it. Like he's got a whole lot. He just got a PlayStation again, so he's got a whole backlog of games to play. But he's all building up to this holiday.
I'm gonna ask a question. We're gonna go around the table. I'm gonna say it's Tyler, and then we're gonna say what house he's in the Hogwarts. You are Hufflepuff.
That's like the word. That's the one I didn't want.
I'd go Hufflepuff.
You're definitely Hufflepuff.
There's an app you can do, and it tells you what house you.
Yeah, I don't know, but I
But there's
think
a
it's more
million personality
personality
quizzes
based.
too, though.
Yeah,
and
I know.
it's
The only way
but I think
do
it's
you
more of a
like
vibe.
snakes and evil?
Yeah.
You're a Slytherin.
There's only one way to get Hufflepuff when you do those too. It's if you go all the way through it and you don't get Gryffindor, so you retake it to get Gryffindor so you can answer it correctly. And they're like, nah, you Hufflepuff son of a bitch, we caught you.
Yeah.
You ain't no
That's the thing,
Gryffindor.
we
you
know
just
your
proved
type.
yourself to be a Hufflepuff.
I plead the fifth.
Then Brad is
The game looks good though.
yeah.
Game looks great, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, what a boring premise I brought up.
No, the gameplay looks fun. The world is incredibly developed. I think it's great how fleshed out Hogwarts is and
They
the
got
forest.
Hogsmeade.
I'm curious. We'll see how it's all interconnected and how you actually go to classes and you have relationships. Different students can become party members, I guess.
Is this going to be like
so
a
it's Persona 5. Yeah.
If it's good, it'll be Persona-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited, and also I will wait for reviews. But at this point, I'd say it looks really good.
Do they have a release date yet?
Just holidays this year.
It's probably going to be
So
November.
it could be Easter because that's a holiday.
That is a holiday.
I think
I
end of the
don't
year
know if-
holiday is probably more
Kwanzaa.
appropriate.
It's a Kwanzaa release.
I don't know. I don't know. If
Crazy
it's
Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a day one purchase for me.
I know it's not a day one purchase for you.
Yeah.
Is there
Not many things are day one purchases for you,
Yeah, because I'm not a tool.
except Elden Ring. We are all in
I
agreement.
trust Miyazaki with my life, though. I would rather trust him and die than not.
You know, it's funny. Recently, Vladimir Putin, he came out saying just saying cancel culture is dangerous, and he's like, I support J.K. Rowling. It's like J.K. Rowling's gotten the world so pissed off at her that Putin's like, I'm on her side.
Yeah, she's got bad opinions. She just needs to. She's so rich. She should just shut up. It's honestly like you could have been everyone's hero forever if you had just kept your mouth shut and like you could have literally said the worst things in your big giant mansion. You could have shouted it.
After you see the $1 billion hit your bank account, you take your phone and flush it down the toilet. You're like, I'm done,
dude. If I got that rich, I wouldn't own a fucking phone. Are you kidding me? I would make someone else answer.
I would buy a butler.
Yes.
Answer my phone for me and do all my texting.
Yep.
And I would pay to have him legally change his name to Jeeves.
Jeeves, take this down. Text Brad. Brad, what up, dog?
Hey, Jeeves, can you see what Dylan's up to? Right away, Bradley.
Yeah, no. So the Hogwarts Legacy is set in 1800s pre-Harry Potter world.
Which
It's
is actually
1800s. That's pre Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them world as well.
Yes.
So this is before
It's a
Johnny
long time
Depp got
ago.
canceled.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, way before that.
before he got replaced with Mads Mikkelsen.
Before he got replaced with another person.
I'm a big Mads Mikkelsen fan. I would watch that movie just for Mads.
Wait, did it really go
Stranding.
Colin Farrell, Johnny Depp,
Well,
Mads
BB.
Mikkelsen?
it was
BB.
only Colin Farrell for the first 3/4 of the first movie before they're like, sorry, it was Johnny Depp the whole time. It's like, what are you doing?
And
like,
why
Heath
did he
Ledger
need to
didn't
be a
die. We don't
cop?
need both of
Like
them
a
in this.
magic cop. I don't
Spoiler
get it.
alert.
And then it was
Whatever, who cares?
That was Johnny Depp for one movie.
bad movie.
And now
Yeah, I
it's
have no
Mads
intentions of
Mikkelsen.
watching
But yeah. Here's our next beer from Hop Butcher for the World. This one's called Pneumatic Tube Room. This is a Nectarian, Mosaic, and Eldorado hopped IPA. Collaboration with Perennial Artisan Ales out of St. Louis, Missouri.
I don't know what that means.
These are a whole lot of words describing.
It's a lot of hops.
Nothing about the beer. It's an IPA with some hops in it. Yeah.
This is actually pretty crushable.
Yeah.
As Josh would say.
Kind of a berry flavor to it.
Yeah.
It's good, but yeah.
I like it. I think it's
solid.
quite drink. I would buy a 4-pack of this and just crush it.
It is crushable. It's like a patio crushable.
It's a good summer beer.
What else we got, Tyler?
Yeah, Gran Turismo 7 had they're having a real tough week over there.
Has anyone played it?
No.
I have not. I
What
don't really play them ever. I'm not a big racing game person.
I'm a fan of Gran Turismo. I haven't bought it yet.
You're gonna buy it.
Well,
I'm going to buy it eventually.
my understanding
do you
is
have a wheel?
I used to, not anymore.
Fuck,
My
I was
understanding
gonna
is
say I'm
that
coming over to your house.
this game isn't bad for the driving aspects, isn't it? Just laden with
It's microtransactions.
all that bullshit.
And
Because Gran Turismo has, as far as I remember, not had a bad release ever. Like it's always one of the most.
Gran Turismo Sport.
Well, that wasn't like a
Turismo
main
Sport.
numbered one,
but it
though.
is.
it's because it wasn't necessarily
six
a
didn't
real.
go well either.
Oh yeah.
6 did not
There was
go well.
no 6. It was
There is
all
a 6.
sport.
No, there's a 6. They released a 6 after.
Okay.
The problem is
think it
these
was-
games are all the fucking same. I don't know.
They're the
You
same.
guys play them.
They're technically. I like the Gran Turismo
Do you
series.
play multiplayer or you just treat it like a
Oh,
single player
I've done
game?
multiplayer, and then they're actually like they have rules where you have to. You know how you can really like cheese these games and like even go off course and you don't get penalized. In those ones, you actually have to. You have to do the incline. You have to actually learn how to do the shifts. Like it's really awesome. I haven't done it since Gran Turismo 5, which I played in 2012.
So
It's almost been a third of my life that I haven't.
5 was a
enjoyed
really,
playing.
really good Gran Turismo.
I agree, and it looked
Fantastic.
brilliant.
It still looks great.
I mean, I've played a little bit, but I'm not like I don't even know when they're coming out 9 times out of 10 until all of a sudden it's out.
Issues aside with microtransactions and people getting fucked with losing credits and all that, everything aside, the game looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always a hardware showcase. It's always trying to give you like a, hey, this is how you're going to impress your fucking friends.
But even moving forward from a technology perspective, Sony and Polyphony created a new AI that will eventually smoke you in every race or actually teach you so well how to drive that you'll smoke everyone out there. I think the
I'd have to see it
technology
in
behind
action.
it's not released yet. From what I remember reading about it, it's they're
a patch.
They're we created this. It's really, really cool. It's a new AI. We can expand it to other systems if we or IPs if we want. But Gran Turismo is always a graphical showcase. It's a walking. It's like Ratchet and Clank. It
It's a
shows
tech- it's a tech
look
demo.
what
Yeah,
Look, it's not a tech demo. It's
No, but it might as well be to a certain degree.
it's a technical showcase.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that's
always
and for a big driving fan,
yeah.
it's really hard to steer away from Gran Turismo. Well, it's not
Forza-
a true
Forza-
sim.
That's really good.
Well, it's not
Forza
a true.
gave it a run for its money, and Forza's the king now.
I would disagree until the new Forza comes out.
I like the Horizon series because I like arcade
I
racing.
hate Horizon.
Forza would win if they just don't make it entirely online.
Do you
Online
think,
dependent,
what
because
if-
that's what shot this launch in the foot.
What if
after that
Gran
update.
Turismo 7 featured Vin Diesel?
Oh shit! It's
Because
all-
family.
Could save
all
it.
about
It
family.
could save it.
Yeah, but I mean, like they already did tie-ins.
They have the rights to Paul Walker's image. Oh God.
Here's what it comes down
I
to.
see you again.
Well,
And the reason is
do. Well, Gran Turismo is not a true sim. It's pretty close, but Project Cars, that's
Cars rules.
ultimate sim. It's so fucking hard, but you can't beat GT for visuals.
I remember getting Gran Turismo 3 for the PS2 because everyone says this is one of the best games. It's going to show off your PS2. You're going to fucking love it. And I played it for maybe 10 minutes, and this is
Snoresville.
This is bad. No, it's not bad, but to me, I don't want a hyper realistic racing game.
Yeah.
If I'm playing a racing game, I want it to be arcadey. And
Where's Toad? Where's Toad?
I want Jet Moto.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Even loading up the PS1 Gran Turismo, it still stands up. Although it's blocky and pixely, it stands up.
It does. Yeah.
Like, if you're not a racing fan, like a sim racing fan, I get it. But if you're a sim racing fan, it's a killer game, and I'm looking forward to getting GT7.
But they're microtransactions, and
I'll have to-
the
I'll
release
have
has
to
been a
see it.
major botch.
Yeah,
You invite
because
me over when it's.
there was a patch they put out that affected startup on the PlayStation 4 and 5. So they abandoned the patch and put out another patch, 1.08, to fix the issue. So the game was offline for 30 hours.
No shit.
And the people paid $69.99 for this thing because of the microtransactions and all that. And then to come back online and find out that some of your, I read that some of the races, the credits that you would get were cut in half. So
Jesus.
now you got to grind even harder to get these.
And some people
these
lost
cars.
credits.
Yeah.
Sony is refunding like certain people that were affected, like I think 1 million credits to make up for it. I think
Jesus,
I think
sounds like a fucking mess.
I think what really shot them in the foot is
Yeah.
that they delayed it so they can dumb it down for PS4. If they made it true next gen, I think it might have been a smoother.
know-
That's the biggest problem with games right now in general is because people can't get their hands on them. I mean, when we get to our "What Are We Playing" section, I can tell you I'm finally a part of the
what are we playing for?
next gen. I'm finally a part of the next gen crew. But
way to go. Way to go.
Brilliant.
I want them when like they do with some other franchises. If all right, we have Gran Turismo 7. We're making the next gen one in house, but a small Canadian studio is going to make it for the PlayStation 4, and it's not the
Yeah.
same game. Like I just wish they would do that like they used
it's
to.
like
do with
it's like
games.
when you got a game.
It's like the
when
Game
you-
Boy version.
Yeah, it's the Game Boy version of a GameCube game. It's just it's just a shitty side
It's a side
scroller.
scroll. It's like-
Yeah, that's usually what they ended up being.
It's like Spy Hunter.
Yeah, it's like woo.
Whenever a game is simultaneously being released on 4 consoles, it's like, whoa, what's going on here, everybody?
It's the problem with new generations, right? Like they're always thinking about the last generation players, and realistically, I get it from a customer standpoint.
Well,
but
it's
they
this-
should just push forward with new tech.
Now hold
And-
on. This generation has been an absolute disaster in terms of getting these out to people because
COVID, dude.
No, it's not COVID. It's scalping. It's literal bots. It's all scalping because the product is literally out there and there's enough for everyone.
I'm about to get that sweet, sweet tax return money
Ooh, yes.
and security deposit money from my old place. So I'm going
Nice.
to be like kind of rich, guys.
You're
And
gonna be so wealthy.
I know. And I'm
You're
going
like
to
gonna be
spend it
Jeff
all on
Bezos.
High Life and a PlayStation 5.
every closet in your new place is just full of highlights.
You know what? I call that a nice afternoon.
Yeah, my mom's going to come over and be like, is this your spice rack? Like,
Don't open that.
don't open that.
Oh, that's a spicy.
Ooh, look at this walk-in closet. Don't open that.
They all fall on her.
I think
Is this your bedroom? Don't open that.
Don't open that.
I think the main thing, like even talking about now that I'm part of the gang, I think the one thing I realized is that this I think we're entering an era where I might as well wait for the next model of PlayStation 5 I think the one thing I'm getting from this generation is that now we're just gonna have like all these incremental steps. You know how last generation they did like the PS4 Pro and they did the Xbox One X. I was talking to someone who doesn't really understand any of this, and I was like, and they're like, "Oh, you got the new Xbox? It's like what, the Xbox 4?" And I'm like, "No, it's actually called the Xbox Series X." And she's like, "I think my little cousin has that." I'm like, "Are you sure it's not the Xbox One X?" And then they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
That's a testament to Microsoft's dumbassery of naming conventions.
I just don't get it anymore. Like, I honestly don't understand it. I was like, and I'm just like, no, technically it is like the Xbox 4. You can essentially call it the Xbox 4. And that's kind of what I tell people. I'm like, 4th gen for Xbox.
Nintendo's mostly fine, but then it's just PlayStation. Like, why would we fuck around?
Yeah.
It's the 5th one.
Yeah.
People love that shit. They're like, 5.
Well, and it just makes it easy for parents and adults.
It makes it so much easier.
I'll just
you
buy
add
the
the
highest
4, you
number.
want
Yeah.
the 5.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay, which Xbox do I want? There's like 4 available right now.
I just want Microsoft to have the balls to come out with like the Xbox Vista or something. Like, do it.
Xbox ME.
I'm actually quite surprised.
Xbox 95.
I was in Target today, and there is a huge amount of Series S's out there. They're
Series S is not a problem to get.
It's not hard to get.
And
at
Series
all.
X is not a problem to get if you do the what do you call it? The
payment plan, whatever. Yeah. I mean,
that's how I got mine.
And I love the payment plan. It's really great.
We paid ours off already, and
Yeah.
we got a letter saying, "You sure you want to do this?" Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna do
I
they
paid-
like
I-
it because the money becomes worth more over time.
I paid mine off.
I paid mine off right away. I just fucking Venmo'd Tom.
I tried to pay my.
And here's a little something for you on the side.
What else we got, Tyler?
PlayStation's going to have Xbox shaking in their boots, apparently, because Spartacus could be announced as early as next week.
Yeah.
I've
The Game Pass. It's PS Now, and we talked about this, boys, on Raw Dogs.
Yeah, this was the Christmas episode.
Yeah,
their
it's
streaming service.
PS Now version 2.
And apparently there's going to be tiers to it. So like tier 1 is going to be just like your PS Now, whatever you got now.
Just have it. Just the pass. Have it the pass.
Can I
Nope.
jump off a cliff now so I don't
There's
have to
a
think about it?
3-tiered system. So it's going to be 3 price points, 3 tiers. Tier 1, and they advertise it as free monthly games and free online, but you're paying for tier 1. So I don't understand how
The
that's
definition of not free.
It's grouping, and they said this before. It's grouping PS Plus and PS Now. So you get the base model plan. You also get your online capability with it.
Okay, there we go. And then tier 2, which will cost a little bit more, you get tier 1, and then you also get the ability to stream or access to the library. And then tier 3 is going to have backwards compatibility all the way back to PS1 games.
Yeah, I hear they're going
They're
to focus.
monetizing that?
But
They're going to focus on vintage games.
If you want to play Crash Bandicoot 1 in all of its glory, you have to pay tier 3.
They don't have
son
the
of a
rights to
bitch,
that
I
shit
just
no
bought the
more.
remastered for
Oh, you
that
don't
and
have the
Spyro,
rights.
so it's no use to me.
So here's the thing. Like, I know you guys are kind of like, oh fuck, man, what are they doing? But if you think about this, regardless of what you call it,
Jamie,
it's
the
no, hold on.
Capitalist.
No, hold on. Dude, I'm Canadian.
I know.
This
It's
is
just
no
weird.
different, like a tier system. This is no different, albeit Microsoft has said we're going to do away with this eventually. This is no different than Xbox Live Plus or Xbox Gold Plus this and blah, 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 blah. It's all tiered. It's the same as Xbox.
At least Xbox though has the understanding. Like we'll just call it Xbox Live or whatever. Like I don't think about what I have my subscription for Xbox Live. I just have Live.
Yeah.
And then I have Game Pass.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. And
So
they're not trying to muddy it up by adding more terms.
No, well, they originally they did, and it's still evident with what the fuck is Games Plus Gold and blah blah blah.
Games with gold, yeah, which they want to get rid of, but
They
people
do.
were upset.
Yeah. So this is Sony
dumb.
trying to develop their online service because no one remembered or tried PS Now,
Except for
PS
Josh.
Now.
Josh,
I tried PS Now, and my brother had great internet at his house when I was living there, and it wasn't playable. Shadow of the Colossus had like a 3-frame delay, making it completely not playable. But you download now.
I've been playing it since our Christmas episode
Yeah.
when I was on my 9th free trial or whatever I was. Right. Now I paid for it, and
They got you.
yep, they got me. But I
Can't make
actually
any more email addresses. This is bullshit.
I actually
Email
use
was
it.
like enough. Stop.
Tyler699 is taken.
got a Hotmail, Yahoo. I've expended all of them.
Yeah.
I got a cease and assist in the mail. They're like, no more emails for you.
Cease and desist, not cease and desist. I got a cease and desist.
Yes.
Hey, stop it. We'll help you.
They just think you're a terrorist. Like, it's like, why would he have so many email addresses?
The big thing
Putin comes out in support of you.
Yes.
On a horse without a shirt.
I think Tyler is fine. He's a good guy.
Tyler, he is very cool of it.
What do you think about my mighty Russian muscles on my horse?
I'll be on a press conference in like 2 months. Like, all right, I for one don't like him, and fuck J.K. Rowling. I don't want to be in this group.
Putin does a press conference and he pulls up his sleeve and it's a picture of Tyler tattooed on there. I'm like,
And he flexes and Tyler winks. as he
November
flexes.
9th.
Like,
Someone
I
on
don't care
Twitter?
who you are. That was actually kind of cool, though, right, guys?
Tyler
Pretty
of
badass.
Hair of the Dogcast is canceled.
Oh, man. I'd kill for that publicity.
Honestly, maybe we could kill someone and get that publicity.
What about
What else we
Putin?
got, Tyler?
Well, the last thing with Spartacus that pissed me off is that
I hate they call it that. That's so dumb.
Hopefully they reveal a new name for it when they do this, too.
Spartacus is just their development title.
I know, I don't care.
It's
It's like-
not going to be called that.
But also, it's like the GameCube was Dolphin, and there's no reason for that.
Because, dude, I'm Spartacus.
Because it's happy and it
Plus,
matters.
there was that HBO show or Showtime Spartacus with all
Spartacus,
the
yeah.
dicks and
It's
tits and
also
blood.
it's also a movie.
Yeah.
A
It's
very
also a
famous old
bunch of
movie.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they just need to come up with a name for it. Like, I don't know, Redbox. Like, I know what that means, and that makes sense. It needs to have it needs to have an identity.
What PlayStation Pass?
Ooh, what about
That's
what about
groundbreaking.
PlayStation Cool Service?
Oh shit! PlayStation.
It's not bad.
what about PlayStation? It's about goddamn time.
Oh, I call it. Oh,
Just call it Gamer Pro or something.
No,
Yeah.
make it super simple. Call it PlayStation 1.
There you go.
PlayStation 1X.
Dude, yes.
Series 1X.
Yeah.
That's actually very funny.
Yeah.
But the one thing that does piss me off with this is, unlike Game Pass, PlayStation will not release first-party games on day one. So no
Fucking idiots.
God of War Ragnarok day one on it. So that's kind
could
of
have been a
that's what
scene
makes
stealer.
Game Pass, in my opinion, like
Yep.
the top of the hill. Like
I think the reason why is they realistically they said we want to focus on vintage games,
Yeah.
old school games. They're trying to differentiate themselves to create their own little market. I think eventually, they're going to do the AAA games day one because they have to. But you know, if you're trying to relaunch an already existing service that has been demolished by your competitor, why copy them verbatim when you can create your own little niche market and then slowly copy them?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Kind of, so this is basically the
marketing.
same way I passed high school, where I copied off Tom and just made sure that it was just different enough.
That's
You went to school with Tom?
No, Thomas Dietz, if he's listening, thanks for
So you
thanks for the
copied-
help in math class.
Our next beer from Hot Butcher for the World is 60 Feet West. We're going to mix it up and do a fucking IPA. This is a Strata,
slow down.
Strata,
Get outta here.
Belma, and Nectaron hopped IPA.
I prefer Daphne, but you know.
Yeah. Nerd. Velma. You prefer Daphne? Who prefers Daphne over Velma?
I prefer Daphne.
After the Scooby-Doo movie came out, I'm like, I am in the Velma group. Yeah. I was a big
Linda
fan
Cardellini.
Yeah, a big fan of Lindsay
Yeah.
Weir from Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you be?
But this is an IPA, Strata Belma, and Nectaron hopped, another 6.75%. And yeah, this one is just by them, not a collaboration actually. But
Wow.
that's good. Yeah.
I find myself with IPAs just being like, okay, yeah,
That's an IPA.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Do you guys have a preferred style of IPA? Do you pursue IPAs when you go to breweries?
I will get at least one IPA because it's kind of a testament to the brewery in general.
I disagree.
Really? You think so?
Most brewers will go out and buy the simplest beer to make. Or maybe not simple.
The
but
lager's a good
cleanest
test.
A lager or something very simple, because if a brewery can't do a simple beer like a lager, lager is tricky to make, but you can't mask it with anything. An IPA, you can throw a shit ton of hops in there and mask mistakes.
That's
It's like
interesting. I like that.
You can't be naked and look good unless everything looks good underneath your clothes.
Have you seen me naked?
Like, I mean, from what I can tell, you're a great IPA. I don't know if you're a great lager, though.
We got Halo Infinite's player base falling very rapidly. At launch, day of launch on Steam, there was 200,000 active players.
Yep.
And it's noteworthy to say like 20 million people have played the game since launch. Yep. But they're stagnated at roughly 10 to 20,000 players as of now.
Jesus Christ.
For a litany of things.
That's a big word.
Thank you.
It's not really. It's kind of small. But.
For one,
it's
I went to school.
It's a nice word, though.
Yeah,
it's a very nice word. It's eloquent.
I have a vocabulary
for a cornucopia of things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's a plethora of issues.
Oh boy,
bugging this game.
There's
out
a
right
heck
now.
of a lot of issues.
There's a whole ton of issues, boys.
There's so ding dang much of them.
Well, I mean, I know they had some issues with paying for like the subscription
and
armor being hidden behind, like, you have to play this many games. It's like, I don't want to play that many games.
It's the Call of Duty paywall, right?
Yeah. Well, we touched on there's no co-op campaign, which is supposed to come out in May.
Yeah.
That's way too long. Like, I don't understand the delay in adding a split screen to your TV for couch co-op. I don't get it.
Which is
I think it's the structure of the game itself. Because if you play that game, there is so much movement and so much going on. I think the processing can't handle it.
I've played it and I still don't get it.
And it should have been a staple on day one because that's like, I love playing Halo with people on my couch. Like, that's the way I played all of
that. That hasn't been around for a while, though.
I've had the most fun playing Halo co-op.
But that's what
same.
This was supposed to be returned to form, though. And I think that's why people are upset, because they promised a lot and delivered very little.
To go back to the roots.
They promised a lot and they delivered a very good single player experience.
Except it's not, because like the story is a continuation of Halo Wars 2. If you wanted accessibility, you've got to just make an original story. I could not have given a shit about what was going on in that fucking story at all.
The grappling hook is so damn fun. I will forgive almost all transgressions.
The dash is cool too.
The cutscenes are bullshit. It looks like last gen or before that.
We have time for like one more story. Do you have the Keystone Brewing in there?
I don't have that in this note. No, but
that's an interesting.
I did not know about that until you texted it to me.
Okay, let me pull this up real quick.
While you're pulling it, I can give a preamble.
Sure.
Yeah,
as much as I know about.
Go for it.
So I believe it's a California craft brew place. I believe
you're very knowledgeable.
You're so smart.
They released a Stone Light, and then Keystone tried to fuck them over.
No. You did really good though.
Rewind.
You had some words right.
Yeah,
like beer and brewery. Stone
Brewing is a very popular craft brewery out of California.
Nailed it.
Stone Brewing is. Dude. But Keystone did a rebranding, and they made their Keystone Light, and it just says Stone on the side of the can now. Like, get a Stone. And a lot of people were confused that, is this Stone Brewing? Because it looks like it says Stone.
And like similar font and everything, similar colors.
And so Stone Brewing thought that they were like, this is damaging us because people are buying this thinking it's ours. So they sued Keystone. And I
remember one of the people from Stone Brewing holding up the cans. Like, that was years ago too. At this point, right?
Stone won the lawsuit for a lot of money.
Stone Brewing, they're the 9th largest craft brewery in the country. And they won the lawsuit. They were awarded $57 million in damages.
That's some good walking around money, boys.
Yeah.
That is so interestingly funny.
I can't believe they won. Honestly, you usually expect the big bad guys to win those things, and I'm sure Keystone knew what they were doing.
Here's one.
Miller Coors is Molson.
But also, you kind of know what you're buying when you look at the fucking
Molson
cans.
Coors, yeah.
Here's one for the little guys, the 9th largest craft brew of the country.
Way to go, guys.
It's still, Stone Brewing does still have a really good reputation.
Yeah.
Yep. They're still got respect in the craft beer industry, which not everybody does after they scale up. And so
Founders.
This just happened the other day that they won the lawsuit, and that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, I think you said it best. Like finally the kind of the little big guy wins. I just like to see something not a big corporate conglomerate win because they have the most money, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it's realistically, if the guys at Stone Brewing are kind of down to earth like most brewers are, they're going to look at this as a win for everyone.
Yeah. And it is important to stick up to those big guys, you know. Even if they're one of the bigger craft breweries, it's still important.
Nice to see the medium-sized guy win.
Bingo. Yeah. You know, kind of the welterweight win.
Yeah.
That's a sports term, boys.
I believe.
You play, what do you play? Hook and stick?
Yeah. Hoop and
Hoop. No, it's Hoop a Stank.
Okay.
Supermassive Games, the maker of Until Dawn, announced their new game.
Yep.
And they did that whole anthology series, which was really meh for me.
What was it called?
The
Dark Pictures Anthology?
Dark Pictures
Yeah.
Anthology.
The Man from
they quit on
Medan.
Did you guys ever play any of those?
Yeah, I
Played a good portion of some of it.
We did a podcast on Until Dawn, and I listened to an episode of Watch Out for Fireballs about it the other day. Until Dawn's a great game.
Yeah, and
it's if you're a horror fan, it's fun to get to interact and like push characters certain directions. I tried to save everybody, and I was listening to their podcast, and they had the same mentality. We're making these people the most vile, disgusting people. So like, accusate someone for cheating always.
Yep.
Shoot innocent animals. Yeah, we're gonna do that, and it's fun. Like I had one person survive, and I played those games wrong. I was trying to be God and save people. It's like, no, you should push into horror tropes and make people horrible.
Until Dawn was okay. I didn't finish it. Man of Medina finished it. Made no sense. Bullshit game. It's not a game. It's Bandersnatch.
I do.
It's a choose your own adventure movie.
Yeah.
Well, but I do appreciate that.
That's what people
I like that in Man of Medan and some of the later ones. They added a multiplayer experience where one character is like, all right, I'm douche bro and you're jock boy, and like you get to make the decisions for him. I don't know. It's a niche experience, but they're doing interesting things with it.
I'm glad they're going back to their roots with this one. It's called The Quarry, and
they have big name actors in it.
Yeah, David Arquette from Scream.
He's the biggest Arquette.
Yeah.
Literally, he's the biggest.
He's going to be in it. They got
fat.
Ariel Winter from Modern Family and Lance Henriksen.
Yeah.
So from Aliens.
In other words, here's a bunch of people that haven't had work in a long time.
Yep, but they're camp counselors now.
Oh shit!
I like
and
that.
It's party night at the end of summer.
Oh, fuck.
And then of course,
So it's Friday the 13th.
yeah, which for me, but in a quarry and not at a lake.
And that was the news.
It was the news.
What have we been playing? I'm playing Elden Ring. What else is everyone playing?
Playing Elden Ring, but I do got a shout out to what do you call it? Far
Yeah, what do you
Changing
call it?
Tides.
Oh, have you played the original Far?
I played the second one first,
Okay.
and then I realized, hey, this is a sequel. Played the first one,
Far Lone Sales.
Lone Sales.
Far From Home.
You don't have to play them in order.
Shut up, Brad.
But I highly recommend these games.
They're really good.
And Far Changing Tides right now is my indie game of the year.
Really? Okay. That's interesting because I played a little bit of it too, and I thought it was really interesting. The platforming is more interesting now because in the first one, it's more about controlling this kind of like desert sailing kind of vehicle.
What they did was they took that concept and they gave you more dimensions of moving backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just such a good game. It's definitely changing.
It's interesting to look at too.
You got to finish it if you haven't. It's
haven't.
so good, and you don't have to play it in order. It'll still make sense. I actually
not a
found
sequel.
a better experience doing the second one first and then the first
Going
one.
back to the other one. The first one actually has it's kind of complicated in how it works right away because you're constantly trying to refill the batteries on your I agree. Yeah.
It's if it's on Changing Tides is on Game Pass, definitely play it. When we eventually get to Indie Game Month, boys,
this might be your choice, huh?
It might be my choice. I enjoyed it that much.
Well, then, I mean, if it's on Game Pass, you've got an easy play for me and Brad.
Is it going to be on the PlayStation Series X?
It might be on Series X Pro. One more game. Last Christmas, Tyler, you were talking about Red Dead Online. Mm-hmm. As a PS5 owner, GTA 5 Online is free.
Interesting.
Picked it up. I can see the appeal. It's fun. It's fun.
You're trying to get yourself amped up to try and make something sound better than it is. I could tell.
But
I can see the appeal.
I think at this time, unless you already were playing GTA 5 Online.
Yeah, you're way
There's a
behind the
barrier
ball.
to entry.
And
but you-
all you're doing is rehashing GTA 5, and all you hear is kids yelling into the microphone and people yelling racial slurs.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
And
gonna
there's
be a
no
for
way to
me
mute
there.
it.
Well, that's my
Absolutely
favorite.
no way
That's
to
my
mute
favorite part.
Dylan, you voiced most of the kids there, right? That's actually not other people online. Dylan was brought in to record those voices.
They tried to get Troy Baker. He was way too busy.
Yeah.
Turns out I had a free Saturday.
I can see why people like it.
You know what's really
and I can
good?
see
Your
my-
mom.
I don't like women. I don't like them.
I can see why people like it. I'm way behind the ball on it, but I think they did update the visuals, which is cool. It was kind of cool to re-enter the GTA 5 world, but the game
The
is,
GTA 5 verse. It's
the
just
verse,
been, yeah.
but it's
It's such an immersive
they've milked it
experience.
so long. You can't even milk a cow this long. So it's like, just come out with GTA.
I'm all
6.
dry. Stop. We need more.
It's just coming out in cheese curds now.
My
Leave him alone. It's already dead.
my room.
They're just like taking the cow and squeezing like a rag to get all the little last drops of blood out of it. DLC, here you go. Well, you get a Megalodon shark card for $85, and it's usually $90, so that's a pretty good
and
deal.
PS5 gave
hear.
you the like $1 million credit that you can like download before it was released. But the load times are
what a-
better. The load times are better.
It's free at least.
It's free. I would never pay for this. So unfortunately, Xbox owners, you got to pay for it. But
oh, darn it.
yeah.
Our last beer from Hot Butcher for the World. This is called Roll Your Own Way. This is an imperial stout brewed with cinnamon and vanilla. I've had this.
I know I did it too.
Very sweet. This is a very sweet beer.
Is this a cinnamon roll?
10.5%. Yeah, cinnamon and vanilla.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, but I've drank full pints of this, and it's a little much.
This reminds me
Holy
of this reminds me of the
fazolies.
churro beer from Indeed.
Yeah,
A little bit.
Some people are all about pastry stouts. This
Yeah.
one's a little cloying.
This
And
one's
It's very sweet.
very sweet.
This is more of a. I'll have a sample of it. and
You know,
out.
I've been playing Elden Ring, but I've also been experimenting with my new Xbox Series X. Finally joined the gang
shit.
a year and a half later. Which
late
is
than
never,
never, bro.
I'll tell you, I've never had a need to, but now that I have everything downloaded that should be downloaded on there, like I transferred everything over. I'm selling my old Xbox One to a buddy, and I had to finally reconcile with the fact that holy fuck, this machine's pretty fucking cool.
It's pretty cool.
I saw you playing Elden Ring on your chonky Xbox One yesterday,
Yeah.
and I was like, this frame rate's not good, and
It's
and you
30.
didn't- yeah, and, well, but it
regularly reaches 30.
it looked so bad.
So
to me.
Digital Foundry says that PS5 performs better on
Oh, yeah.
Elden Ring than Series X.
Elden
I
Ring
know.
performs better on PS5. PS5 performs better on Elden Ring. Elden Ring performs better on
Touche.
PS5. Yeah. But no,
it's
I mean,
really good at eating it out.
But regardless, playing on the original Xbox One, I felt bad, and
I mean, you can feel as
You should
bad
never
as you
feel
want.
bad.
no, I felt bad because you didn't even.
I almost feel now that
You're like,
I have,
it looks pretty good, huh?
Do you remember in Dragon Ball Z when Goku would wear like?
It's like
big
telling
weights?
Krillin he does a good job. You know, good job, Xbox One.
No, do you remember?
We're gonna go fight some gods.
It's all cell shaded. What do you think of this?
I'm a cop now.
So you remember when Goku would wear like weights? I honestly I am such a better Elden Ring player now. Like I'm like, oh, this is fucking easy now. I'm like, fuck this shit.
So Dylan, interestingly enough, you mentioned one of my secret favorite games. You mentioned you've been playing some Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I have, and it's been really interesting. I did they have the tours that you can do right away because I just wanted to see how this fucking shit
It's
looked.
all about the visuals.
It's all the visuals.
I blew my internet budget, my data limit. I
Yeah.
went way over because of
Are you playing cloud?
No. But you have live service on, so that
okay.
everything is real. The weather, everything. And I blew my internet budget the first month I was playing it.
I had a date over, and I was like, "You want to go see Milwaukee?" Yeah. She's like, "Yeah."
Howard Hughes flying around with Kate Blanchett, like, oh, this is a great city. See,
I'm just really upset I couldn't have the Spruce Goose.
you're like, that's my favorite bar down there. That's my favorite bar.
all the
Hey,
time.
that's just arts. Look at it.
all the time I take off from the Mitchell General Airport in Milwaukee. I try to land on the Hone Bridge.
Yeah.
When I can't do it, I just crash into Lindsay and Hooper's house.
That's pretty good.
But you know what's great? When I booted that game up, I was like, closest airport to my hometown in South Dakota, small town. And all the roads are there, even the little dirt roads behind my house, like the field. And I was like, I just went and crashed right in my backyard because I couldn't land, but I was whoa.
I flew over the house like grew
You're
up in.
calling your brother, dude, are you seeing it?
Ryan, look up.
Dude, you see me? I'm waving at you, man.
Honestly, if I were still a weed smoker, my entire life might just be sitting and playing Microsoft Flight Simulator.
One of my favorite hikes I've ever done is the Milford Track in New Zealand, and I found where it was on the map, and I flew over it, and there it is. It's cool. It's a really cool game. Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I've also been playing a lot of, I've literally been I've been literally downloading everything that has that X or S.
Yeah, because you want to see what it looks like on there.
I gotta see it. Forza's downloading right now. I played Forza 5 on an Xbox One original, and I gotta tell you, the loading times are egregious, and they're not okay.
Yeah.
But the visuals are pretty much the same.
No, they're fucking good though.
It's smoother. It's 120
way
versus
smoother.
30,
Well,
but I'm not a Forza fan.
ooh,
Or Horizon. Real Forza, I like. Horizon,
So seven's a good one. I did like 7.
big old pile of poop.
Tyler, what you been playing?
I just hit the 48-hour mark in Elden Ring. Yeah.
48.
You're way ahead of me. I'm like 7 hours.
He could also just be not out of the first dungeon yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I'm 27
I am-
hours.
I'm
in.
making real progress. I'm actually like starting to. I got the dodge down now.
How many great runes do you have?
Oh, I got so many.
How many-
No, I got 2.
I got
How do you
I got
defeat-
so many. I got 2, dude.
How do you guys defeat General Rodan?
Generally.
Well, I'll just say this: I found it a lot easier to run than ride a horse up to that guy.
Really? It's
Not
easier
a
to run?
cowboy?
Dodging on the horse doesn't work, and dodging when you're running makes sense.
Not even in a zigzag.
and I told you this yesterday.
No, that's for bears.
He'll hit you every time. But I did mention to you, there's a summoning spot up there. You can summon like 10 people.
I can summon my wolf friend.
You can summon the Wolf Friend. You can summon Iron Fist
Where?
Alexander. You can summon Blythe.
Get out of here. I need his
Patches.
help.
Rodan is one of the greatest characters. Once you understand a little bit of like the lore,
His lore with the blight or the rot.
so he's gone crazy from rot. He has resisted letting it spread to his horse. He's mastered anti-gravity so he doesn't kill his horse while riding it because he's such a big motherfucker.
Yeah, he is.
And also, all of the stars are trying to destroy the planet, and he's single-handedly holding the stars up in the sky.
The fuck?
And he's gone crazy because the rot's in his head, but he won't let it escape. And so he's essentially protecting the entire planet.
It's
and
the first-
he's gone so mad, but they're like, we're having a festival. We're trying to kill him, give him an honorable death. He is one of the coolest characters in the game.
This is honestly like when I got to him and I
didn't really spoil anything. Trust me. That doesn't affect the gameplay.
Oh,
but-
I don't give a shit either way. When I got to the festival, the quote unquote festival, and this guy's like, oh, now here's a cutscene where I explain what this character is. I'm like, this is new for Souls. This doesn't happen. It's usually like tertiary dialogue to kind of give you a little bit of a hint. And then you're kind of living the world. And now suddenly they're just like, no, this character is important. Here's what you need to know about him.
But then there's also a cutscene in that game where it's just a bridge rising. I've seen it 5 times because I've played the game a few times. And it's nothing significant. I was like, why did you go out of the way to make a dope cutscene for a bridge rising?
It's really interesting, and you know, I think I honestly I have a lot of opinions on this game. We're actually doing a series called Elden Dogs.
Starts next week.
Starts next week, and I mean, I will be talking about my opinions at length. So I would hate to give too much out here.
No, I've been playing Elden Ring. I got a spell sword, and I've gotten to the point now where like I've leveled up enough to where like I got like 6 memory slots, so my spells are actually like I got some versatility there.
What
and
character did you start with?
Prisoner.
Prisoner,
Yeah.
high five, buddy.
Prisoner is dope. I like the Prisoner a lot. I'm like
Prisoner
level
rules.
53 or 54 now.
Wow.
Damn, Daniel.
So yeah, no. Once I figured out the iframes and dodging, that helped so much. And now I can actually like I can hit them from distance. But
You also have
do-
iframes with jumping too. There's a number of iframes
Yeah.
you get when jumping, which a lot of
No
people
shit.
don't know either.
So the main thing about any Souls game is that there's always a point like if you even the boss can be the biggest motherfucker on earth and he can have like the widest sweep. If you dodge within that certain frame, you're safe no matter what. And then all you have to do is hang out under his legs.
Although
It's just like every night.
some of those bosses in Elden Ring, though, they'll raise their arm up and they'll do like 30 stutter steps, bring it down halfway,
yeah, it's kind of cheap.
and then bring it down.
Margit was so bad with
It's
that.
so funny
So
how they
never
do
get
that.
the timing down.
So Tyler,
only
like,
with the hammer.
Essentially, this was my first Souls game as well. I'm having a really hard time with it. I'm only maybe 7 hours in. I'm a noob, but I went back to Bloodborne and I'm finally getting it. So like after playing Elden Ring, go back to Bloodborne. It's like I'm kind of getting it. So I got to reload Elden Ring. Get some tips from you because you're the same class as me. I went with the astrologer for the long distant mage strike, but I'm liking the game, but it's so hard.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be a little bit more accessible based on all the reviews I was reading.
It is
And
technically
then-
more accessible.
But then when I was waiting for my pre-order to come, it was late. I read one final article. It's like, yeah,
really
guys,
funny for a
we were
pre-order.
yeah,
I hate it. Mine was late too.
yeah, we were wrong. This is a really tough game if you've never played a Souls game before. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck.
And meanwhile, Tom Digital pre-ordered it, changed his Xbox to New Zealand, and got it a day
nice.
early.
And then Civ 6.
Yeah, which
Civ
is
Civ
Civ
6 is never been deleted off
Civ
of my
6.
PlayStation.
I've-
It's always there.
Civ 6.
So I've
Who's
never
your favorite
played
leader?
Civ. and I want to try
love
it.
going with the ramen leader, Trajan. Or
Sorry, did you
Trajan?
say ramen?
Yeah.
Ramen? Yeah, the ramen leader.
It's crunchy.
Just because he's like super simple to play. You get that free government building in every city, and
Yeah.
then you get roads pretty fast, and then, I mean, he's fun to play.
I always
Alexander's fun too because
Alexander's good.
you get no war weariness, so your people are always happy, and you're just.
Have you ever played Tropico?
I did a long time ago.
What's better,
wanted to
Civ or
die.
Tropico?
Oh, I'm a
Civ.
Civ by
Civ?
far.
Civ is almost a perfect video game.
Yeah.
I've never done RTS games like that.
Oh, it's not. It's a hex. It's a hex strategy.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Wrong
it's
term.
turn-based.
Wrong term.
Right. Yeah.
But I downloaded Tropico 5 on Game Pass. I haven't played it yet, but I'm torn between trying Civ or Tropico. So maybe I'll do
Civ.
Civ.
Yeah. Civ 6 is
Civ is
great.
actually so addictive that you will literally.
Yeah, I'm
you'll
starting
be
to get-
thinking about. You'll be dreaming about it. It's almost Tetris.
I'll be chasing the dragon.
I have a notebook
Never gonna catch me.
that I keep, like, I'll write notes. So when I go to bed and I wake up the next morning, I don't forget, like, I need to build this
that's-
here, put that district there.
Especially if you do
keep an eye on that yield.
Especially if you do the long-term games.
Oh, yeah.
You really got to be paying attention because time can move differently based on how you set the standards for it. So you can get really granular and detailed, and you can have a bigger kind of civilization, or you can make it a little quicker.
I like where you went with that.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I think I have Civ 6 on the Switch. That's how much I like it.
Oh, yeah. I've played it on the Switch, too. It's a little clunky at first, but
It's clunky, but it gets the job done.
And speaking of civilization and different countries, we're going to be talking about some of the wonderful civilizations featured in the game Punch-Out. None are racial stereotypes.
Oh, yeah.
None are insensitive in any way.
Not at all.
Including King Hippo and, of course, the eponymous pizza pasta from Italy.
And
Not-
the bear guy from Canada, I was not insulted whatsoever.
We're going to take a quick break, hear from some of the other amazing shows from the HyperX Podcast Network, and we will be right back.
Take a time machine back to before the world went to hell, around the year 2000.
The 80s and 90s were so rad. The movies, the music, the TV, the games, that's what I want to talk about.
If you're cool enough,
Join us and listen to Less Than 2000, because that's all we talk about.
Adam and Chad live
Less Than 2000.
Now part of the
HyperX
Podcast Network.
The award-winning Go Nintendo podcast is the best place to get the latest news on the world of Nintendo. We cover the biggest stories, share impressions of the latest games, and answer your burning questions. There's also some general pop culture talk, game music trivia, a heaping helping of silliness, and did I mention our robot companion?
I'm the star of the show.
Catch new episodes of the Go Nintendo podcast every Saturday on the HyperX Podcast Network.
Loot drop incoming. Get to the drop at hyperx.com for store-wide savings. If you read the news like I do, you may have heard about rising inflation rates. Well, so is HyperX, and they're responding with deep discounts across all categories of HyperX gear. Head there quick though. Once March ends, so does the madness. It's the HyperX Loot Drop going on now at hyperx.com. And today's featured topic for the Dogcast, we are going to be having ourselves a little discussion about the Punch-Out series. Punch-Out is a pretty fucking awesome game.
It's pretty good.
It's a game that we used to have when I was a wee lad on the NES back in the day, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah, that's what it stands for.
Huh.
And we played it religiously back then. I played a little Super Punch-Out, and there's a lot more going on to this series than I think, a lot more releases than people realize anyways. But I've always been a Punch-Out fan. How about yourselves?
I always found it a little hard to get into. I don't like the. Now
a lot of people just think of like the original Punch-Out as.
No, I know. No,
Yeah.
I'm actually about to say that I think the Super Punch-Out for the Wii,
Yeah.
with the balance board,
Oh, I forgot about
is
that.
really
Yeah.
fucking good, and
Yeah.
it works very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I liked.
I would actually say that my favorite is the original.
Really.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the arcade game or are you talking about the NES?
NES.
Okay.
NES.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people, the NES was the big one that
Yeah.
everyone remembers.
That's the one with Mike Tyson in it, right?
For a while.
Mr. Dream.
He was only in there for a while, but then the license ran out. He was then world heavyweight champion, and then he also might have raped a girl.
And then
Nintendo said, "I don't know if we're not gonna re-up this one."
And then he ate an ear, Evander Holyfield's ear.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
He took 2 bites.
Yeah. Maybe it was an accident. I'll keep fighting the guy. We'll see what happens.
But when it's good, you go back for seconds.
Yeah,
it's a good ear.
It's true.
At one point, he did say it was a mistake, and then I think, how do you hold that up when Evander Holyfield could just be like,
Dude,
fucking point at the ear and be
it's
like,
it's
twice.
listen to me.
yeah, that won't hold up in a court of law.
I mean, I've never been into boxing in general. It doesn't really it doesn't appeal to me. I guess in terms of, I mean, what these games are essentially.
It's not a boxing game. Yeah, I mean, it's a boss rush game. It is. It's a rhythm game. It's reading boss tells and it's responding through reflexes. It's about caricatures too, but
and racial stereotypes.
it is about racial stereotypes.
It was a different time back then.
And it's some of them. I mean, a lot of it's just kind of fun.
Yeah. It's trying to be harmless stereotypes, but
Yeah.
I think in this day and age, some of it can be deemed a little bit edgy.
It's Reagan era.
Is intriguing. I think it brought a lot of interesting mechanics to the NES, and realistically, the graphics for it are really good for the NES.
Yeah.
The mechanics are all about twitch response and memorizing the boss's patterns. It's challenging as fuck.
It is punishing.
It's punishing.
Yes. You made a mistake? Fuck you.
Yeah, you're going to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
I really enjoyed.
Well, they'll knock you back a few matches, but they won't knock you all the way back to the beginning.
True. Some of the timing mechanics are extremely tricky, like very tricky for the time.
Yeah, and it's got a little bit of a puzzle aspect to it as well. Some guy named Bald Bull comes up, and he has the usual tells. Like he'll do a quick little jab. He'll eventually do uppercuts, which are really dangerous. That's kind of the way it works for a lot of the fighters. They start off in the same little thing, and then eventually they're going to have their gimmick, their little shtick. And with certain bosses, like Bald Bull, he has a special attack where he kind of charges at you like a bull. Yeah. And there's a tell where in the back right, there's a guy. The moment you see a certain camera flash, that's when you're supposed to hit it, and you do a little sucker punch and knock him down. And there's a puzzle aspect too, like with King Hippo from Hippo Island, which is definitely not a real place. The only one that's not a real place.
It's not? Dude, I flew over that in MS Flight Simulator.
But King Hippo, he's so fat, you can't hurt him. But if you punch him in the face, his shorts fall down, and he keeps trying to pull him up, and you punch him in the gut 8 times. And he's so fat, once you knock him down, he can't get back up. It's a TKO after one knockdown.
That's like on Super Punch-Out and the Canadian guy, where you can't punch him in the stomach because he just laughs at you and sticks his tongue out. Yeah, I didn't like Super Punch-Out as much.
It's totally different.
It's totally different, and the perspective threw me. Definitely my favorite. I never tried the Wii version. I've heard of it.
Really good.
I think it'd be fun, but I think realistically, not including the original arcade version, to me, the original NES version would be the standout.
Yeah.
That's the only one that I really have any experience with. My dad had an NES in his bedroom when I was a little kid, and he would play it. I'd watch him play sometimes before we got the N64. So like that was one of the games he would play.
That's a big leap from original NES to the 64.
Yeah,
That's jumping multiple generations.
Yeah, well, he wasn't like a super hardcore gamer, but he was also like, when I was a little kid, he was like 23 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he was a young guy.
So video game prime, dude.
Yeah. But then I came along and fucked that all up. So he only had a little bit of time to play when he wasn't working. And I used to remember him playing that game. And then when he would go to work, I would try to play it. And he was good at it.
Yeah.
And I was terrible at it because I was also very, very tiny. And I remember that's the first time I think I ever threw a controller. Just out of pure frustration.
But good system to do it on because those controllers are indestructible.
Yeah, they're like Nokia phones on strings.
Yeah.
Wired Nokias.
Like phones.
Yeah. I never played the one Super Punch-Out, but
It's on the SNES library on Switch if you got it.
Yeah.
This is one of my better versions of it because the graphics are so interesting.
The graphics are killer, but the gameplay isn't the same. The perspective is
the original
throws you off.
It's the original arcade game, and Super Punch-Out for the Super Nintendo. It looks exactly like the original arcade game, and it plays like it too. Where it's not so much about like pattern memorization; it's more about like kind of classic boxing and just like wearing an opponent down. And it's less about tells and knowing what's happening. It's still got that, but the NES one, it is 100%. Just memorization and knowing what your opponent's going to do. But the reason the original one happened is Nintendo had bought way too many screens for arcades. So they had like a plethora, a downright litany.
It's a big shit.
Using those SAT words.
They had a
easy Shakespeare.
They had a shitload of extra screens
for this pugnacious game.
And so they're like, we need to do something with it. So they decided we're going to make a dual screen arcade game. So they tried a few things, and the guy said, we just want to make a boxing game. Like, why would that be a 2-screen game? Like, I don't know, we'll just put the stats up on the top. And they said, sure, that's fine. The first one, it's pretty straightforward. You fight Glass Joe. There's always a French dude as the first boss in every game.
Was that the guy that always looked really scared?
And yes, 1 in 99.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah,
that was Super Punch-Out.
He's also 1 in 99 in there.
Okay. I guess I remember Super Punch-Out more for the friendly.
Oh no, Gabby J is the first guy in Super Punch-Out. Otherwise, it's always Glass Joe.
Okay, so the 56-year-old French Canadian. Mon Dieu, I'm gonna punch you.
Yeah, Gabby J was a waiter who snapped at one point and decided he wanted to get into boxing, and he only beat Glass Joe was his only victory. But,
sounds about right.
Yeah, there's also such great characters as Piston Hurricane, Bald Bull, Kid Quick, and Pizza Pasta. Apparently his name is a reference to Italian food, I found out on Wikipedia.
Really?
Oh.
What?
That's interesting.
Over my head.
The one thing I found re-experiencing this game is that it really did remind me of Mega Man. Like the intros, like the weird, wacky names.
Banana.
Yeah.
Well, and they all have their own cute little like their little like we're walking in their theme music like it's a professional wrestler. I guess his name was going to be Spaghetti Macaroni, but it was taken.
That fucking rules.
I made that up.
I was going to say they're dealing with username problems back then.
I thought you were being realistic.
And then I think it was Iwata. They were asking him about like the design choice. He's like, it's because he sticks around like cheese.
Okay,
they were trying to rationalize it. Like,
hold on.
oh right. He's Italian. You made a stereotype, right? It's because he's like a pizza. I don't.
As he's doing like a really bad Italian.
Okay, we
got his hand up.
We got to do our pitches that are a little bit better than this name wise. I'm doing Mastacholi Rigatoni.
Oh, that's a good one.
And of course, you also fought Mr. Sandman. Super Punch-Out came out in '84. So this came out a year later, and it just essentially changed some of the bad guys, the opponents. you had such opponents as Bear Hugger was your first one.
Oh, boy.
Here's his bio. Bear Hugger was once an ordinary Canadian lumberjack who loved to eat big breakfasts, drink maple syrup, and chop down big trees. So they do say he straight up just drinks maple syrup, which I like. That's part of his official bio.
They stole my life on that.
That's on your resume, right?
Yeah, man. I'm so fucking big, and I drink maple syrup every morning.
One day, a big grizzly bear suddenly appeared, roaring at Bear Hugger, and scared him.
Roar.
But surprisingly, the bear was actually friendly, and he became friends with Bear Hugger, even teaching him how to fight like a bear.
And it's like a grizzly man
So
scenario.
wait, his name is
I
Bear
don't want-
Hugger, and he's afraid of bears?
I also found on the Wikipedia, Bear Hugger invokes many Canadian stereotypes. The list includes being fond of maple syrup, being used to bears, the love of fish,
Yeah.
enjoing hockey, saying A, and being a lumberjack.
Oh, I was going to say, they aren't going to touch on the hatred of trees.
I've
Hate for Punch-Out
hates
Wiki? What the
trees.
deal?
The Super Punch-Out is the Punch-Out is a big wiki. It's pretty cool.
I've cut some trees before, boys, but I'm not a lumberjack.
Yeah, you're too fat.
Just because 90% of my family are lumberjacks doesn't mean all Canadians are lumberjacks. This is bullshit, dude.
Fuck you guys.
What do you do? I work at the maple syrup distillery.
My Uncle Spaghetti would be pissed about this game.
Spaghetti Rigatoni would hate you for this.
Yeah, it's true.
You also would fight such characters as Dragon Chan, Great Tiger, Vodka Drunkinski.
Zing! Woo! That's the best character right
Roasted.
You know what's great about Vodka Drunkinski?
that he's a fucking pathetic lout?
You can't even say the name with that.
No, you see him before and like mid fight breaks, he's just chugging alcohol and he comes out and just laughs at you. It's so funny. But later on, they realized that this was maybe an offensive stereotype about Russians, so they changed his name to Soda Popinski, and he's just chugging soda. I've actually been to a bar.
Clear cola.
I've been to a bar in San Francisco.
Non-carbonated.
There is a bar called
Made
Soda
of potatoes.
Popinski's, which is based on
That's
this character.
fucking awesome.
That's
That's cool.
pretty cool. Yeah, although
would
it's a
name-
really shitty like Brady Street bar.
Okay.
I thought it'd be cool. No, it's just fucking young kids being stupid drunk. They don't even know who it is.
You're hipsters.
You literally walk in
Hi,
there.
my name's Brad. He's Vodka Drunkinski. Yeah.
They're like, we don't have that. What do you want? Come on.
We have Miller, we have Coors.
I can make you a Manhattan.
What do you want, dude? Vodka Drunkinski.
We got an IPA with Sacramento and hot and like Galaxy and Simcoe and
Then you also would
Malort.
fight the final boss in Super Punch-Out. The arcade version is Super Macho Man. Super Macho Man's facial features and gray hair are noticeable despite him being only 27 years old, which has always been a point of debate amongst fans. There are several theories about this. He has a rare genetic condition in which he developed gray hair at an early age.
Old Man
Progeria.
He's naturally silver or platinum blonde. He dyes his hair gray for unknown reasons. His hair has been bleached out from too much time in the sun. He engages in constant tanning sessions, which has been noted to age his skin severely.
So we're just going to discount that it couldn't be a Benjamin Button sort of deal here.
Well, meanwhile, Tom
Sephiroth cosplay.
is an old man and he looks like he's 27.
Yeah, and you can't even look at him because he blinds you.
Yeah. He's just like, oh, it's so reflective. Oh, the sun.
Daywalker.
Arm wrestling was also released for the arcade.
What?
And this is, it's an arm wrestling game. A match begins when the player taps left on the joystick, though not until they are told to do so. During the match, the player must attack the computer by pressing left on the joystick and tapping the button to increase the power of the attack. If the opponent makes a strange face accompanied by a snorting noise, it means they are about to counterattack, which can be stopped by quickly pressing the joystick to the right. In order to win a match, the player must move the joystick back and forth and surprise the computer before they have a chance to counterattack. Sounds like an interesting take on arm wrestling, but you would fight such opponents as Texas Mac, which was a naked dude in a cowboy hat.
All of this I'm liking.
Yeah, this is a great game.
They stole that from me.
There was an E Honda ripoff called Kabuki. There was Mask X,
Kabuki.
which would be revealed to be Bald Bull wearing a mask.
Okay.
Alice and Ape the Third, which is a girl and a robot ape, and you
In a robot ape.
a robot ape. Yep.
Huh.
And you had to arm wrestle both of them. It looked very weird. And Frank Jr., which is just Frankenstein's monster.
Junior.
This brings us to, of course, Punch-Out for the NES. Now, a lot of people know the song. A lot of people don't realize, though, that the song is actually from boxing history. I think I have this queued up right. It's from
Oh, I'm interested.
a Gillette like boxing advertisement.
Look sharp and feel sharp too. Choose the razor that is built for you.
I couldn't find a full version with all the lyrics, but the Punch-Out song is originally a march with lyrics about how you should shave to feel good about yourself.
That's my
Speaking
motto.
as everyone at this table is a white bearded man.
I mean,
it is so fucking funny. Like, it's just like we're watching this and we're like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
wait, we're way more diverse than that. Our beards are different lengths.
This is definitely
That is
true.
true.
All in different styles as
Yeah,
well.
we get a lot of different styles.
Yeah, this is true.
I'm like prepubescent where I still have bald patches. But
Yeah,
you
do,
boys are
but
like.
it looks okay. You need to get like an Oliver Queen, like
I'm thinking
like
about
Green
it.
Arrow guy.
Yeah,
Did you guys know Shigeru Miyamoto was involved in designing the boxers for NES Punch-Out?
Really?
Yep, he did the initial designs, but he didn't feel comfortable with how big they would be up on the screen since they'd fill up a larger part of it. So they had other people take his designs and like make them like a little more fleshed out and big. But Shigeru was involved, and so the arcade Punch-Out had a green wireframe fighter, which wasn't Little Mac. It was just known as Challenger, a green-haired motherfucker named Challenger who
So
looked
the
very weird.
original Virtua Boy.
Which is a skin.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
a skin on in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Which is true, but that is not Little Mac in the arcade versions. Little Mac was created for the NES because they couldn't get the wireframes to look right on with the power of the Nintendo, so they just made Little Mac this fucking Tom Cruise sized little guy, and he when he punches up, he goes like from
He really reaches.
He has to reach so high,
Yeah.
but it was the only way you could see all of the tells and properly see stuff. That's why it looked a little odd to you on the Super Nintendo because they brought the green wireframe back.
Yeah.
And it just has a different feel. I prefer the Little Mac, the little guy.
Yeah.
And
That's why it's called Little Mac.
and he's called Little Mac, kind of as a joke about Big Mac, but that's why in Wii Punch-Out they wanted to call him Big Mac, but they said that was risky. So he's Giga Mac in Wii Punch-Out. When you fight multiplayer in Wii, you can have two Little Macs. It's only Little Mac versus Little Mac, but you can go Giga Mac. Because Big Mac was, of course, Ronald would get upset.
Reagan?
Yeah, Reagan, for sure. The NES Punch-Out came out in 87. It actually came out in North America first, but there is...
His Alzheimer's ridden brain just like, I don't understand. What are they referencing?
Are they making fun of me?
Pizza. I could go for some pizza.
Where are the jelly beans?
Yes,
Iran,
yes.
Contra, what?
Punch-Out came out first in Japan. There was only 10,000 units produced. That was a gold version of Punch-Out, pre-Mike Tyson. And this was available through winning high scores in certain games or like winning competitions. And that was the only way you could get it in Japan pre-Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Otherwise, they found Mike Tyson. This is before he was champion. They saw him wrestling and they were obsessed. He's like,
Boxing.
Yeah, it's boxing.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Wrestling.
You said wrestling.
Ain't no wrestling.
Yeah, it ain't no wrestling.
Hey, this
is
is
real.
wrestling,
This is
boys.
real.
What year did you say that was?
87 is when it came out. Both the gold version pre-Mike Tyson came out September 87. In North America, we got it with Mike Tyson in October 87, and it came out in Japan November 87. The NES introduced Little Mac, who is 17 years old, 5'7", fun fact, and he's from the Bronx. He was made smaller, like I said, because of the wireframe and the change there. And also Doc Lewis, the former heavyweight boxing champion who invented the Star Punch, which is your special attack. Go ahead.
How do you do the special attack?
I didn't know this back in the day.
Neither did I.
It's the start button.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You have A and B, which you're already using
Yeah.
for right and left. So, and you also have to get the Star Punch by hitting enemies at certain weak points. You don't get it just by default.
'Cause I've
you have
been
to unlock.
trying, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I even the other day when I beat this, I was like, I don't know what's going
You
on.
beat it?
I told you that. It took me 300 save states.
Thank God for emulation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Official emulation from Nintendo even, but their save states are wonky, but I made it work. You would fight such classic opponents as Glass Joe, again, a French dude who is there to lose. Von Kaiser.
Joseph's such a French name.
It's a pun on Glass Jaw.
Joseph. Oui, oui.
Yep.
Yosef.
There's the Japanese fighter Piston Honda.
Piston Honda?
Piston Honda, yep. You have Don Flamenco, who everyone in our Discord hates. Everyone's very upset about Don Flamenco, who he only has one move the first time you fight him, and it's just uppercuts. All he does is uppercuts. So I guess he's just that one guy who spams the same move in Smash, and
He's
you
also
hate him
using
for it.
castanets.
His name sounds like a rejected Batman villain.
Don Flamenco, yeah.
It's pronounced
no villain has
Flamengo.
ever been rejected from Batman. Look at the history.
And I'm the condiment man. They also wanted to bring in...
I'm prophylactic Pete.
You'd also fight Great Tiger, Bald Bull, Mr. Sandman, Super Macho Man, and then, of course, yes, Mike Tyson, where if Mike Tyson hits you even once in the first 90 seconds of the fight, it's an instant knockout.
Oh, Jesus.
The NES Punch-Out was great. Punch-Out...
small in
You guys
that.
remember Punch-Out 2 for the Nintendo?
I never played Punch-Out 2.
Fuck no, I've never
That's
touched
because it
that.
doesn't exist.
Whoa.
Oh.
What?
Trick question. The game was being developed under Nintendo's supervision as Mike Tyson's Intergalactic Power Punch.
Jesus
What the
Christ.
fuck?
You would control Mike Tyson and fight aliens. This game was released, but not as Punch-Out 2. As soon as Nintendo's like, we're done. And
It's
also...
Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
And Mike Tyson was being tried for rape. So they took Mike Tyson out of the game, and you play as... it's like Mitch Tonson or something stupid like that. It's something stupid like that. And also Don King becomes like an alien with Don King hair.
So what's the official release name of this game?
I think it's just Intergalactic Power Punch.
I want this game.
I want to try this.
It's
yeah.
supposed to not be great, but
I wanna
it's
try
definitely
it
got the Punch-Out DNA.
I'm going to play it.
I'm going to play the shit out of
Yeah,
it.
dude.
Super Punch-Out would be released for the Super Nintendo in 1994 in North America, not in Japan until 1998. I looked up why. No one could say. You may or may not be Little Mac, depending on who you ask. This does not look like Little Mac. It's a blonde-haired dude with a weird face. But in Fight Night Round 2 for the GameCube...
So, Tom.
Yeah, not that tall.
Blinding?
But Fight Night Round 2 for the GameCube...
He's kind of a redhead, though. You know?
has the Super Nintendo character, and he's labeled as Little Mac, causing confusion, but it is not Little Mac from official sources. He's also appeared in a game called Captain Rainbow for the Wii, and he's an extremely obese character who's like a side thing, and you have to help him lose weight to get back in shape.
I want this game.
The Gabby J intro, because it is so great.
Oh.
For Super Punch-Out.
Yeah.
Gabby J!
Yay! Yay!
Okay, now that I see this one, I recognize that one a lot more.
Yeah.
The blonde-headed guy. Yeah, no, that makes
Oh, not the French guy.
not the the guy you're fighting as with the little like
Oh, yeah,
colic thing
yeah.
going on.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay.
Yay!
So that's actually from an
ringtone.
official Canadian. When you get your driver's license photo taken.
Yeah, that's the sound effect when the camera clicks the
Yep.
picture.
You have to go, yay! And that's how they take the picture.
Yeah.
Say fromage.
So this included this included Gabby J, the return of Bear Hugger, Piston Hurricane would return, Bald Bull, the new character Bob Charlie,
Bob Charlie.
Jamaican dude with dreadlocks.
Don't fuck with that guy. He's got
Is this
two worse
is
names.
that real?
Bob Charlie's a real character.
Oh no!
Yes.
Yay!
Yay!
Come on,
Dragon Chan,
Dragon Chan.
Masked Muscle, Aaron Ryan,
Oh, wow,
he's
that
a ball
sounds like
player.
That
He's a
sounds
ball
like
player.
a fucking ball player. Yeah.
Heike Kagero, Mad Clown, which might be Bear Hugger in disguise. There's contention there.
Wow,
It's
what?
a Lucho Libre mask that he wears.
Yeah.
He's just a guy who's really obsessed with the joke.
There's
The Joker, baby.
Narcy Prince.
Narcy Prince,
Who is a narcissistic prince.
Oh boy!
Hoy Quarlo, the oldest fighter in the series, 78 years old.
Whoa!
And
You're just literally beating on.
his name means twice cooked pork.
Whoa!
And
That's
also, he
delicious.
uses a cane. There, if you want, there is YouTube videos saying how many infractions against boxing rules everybody has. But yes, that is one of them. I think Aaron Ryan might have the most. There's a lot of contention, but Great Tiger is allowed to wear a turban. It might be his religious belief. I found that out on the Wikipedia as well.
Okay.
So here's the thing about the Punch-Out series.
Yeah.
This was done in a very different time where racial stereotypes were
Fine.
fine.
And I mean, you can have a stereotype doesn't mean it's going to be like negative or offensive,
But
you can have a joke about something,
But typically, most stereotypes are offensive in some way.
or at least to white people, they're offensive.
Yes.
Yes.
It's for the people who really want to police.
Coming-
this shit.
If there was a Japanese game that the American character is named Hot Dog Hamburger, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, we're Hot Dog Hamburger."
And he pilots
let's do
a
it.
mech.
Yeah.
And it's got like 13 Gatling guns.
And he has Donald Trump hair. Like, yes,
Dude.
I leaned in when I was overseas. I was like, "Oh, we're better than everyone." I just leaned into American
Brad, you've
stereotypes.
got to cut this because I literally want to make a game called Hot Dog Hamburger Super Mech Pilot.
That would be the greatest 4-player arcade experience ever.
Coming from a half French Canadian, I do not find this offensive. With
Bear Hugger's hilarious.
yeah, but it's hilarious. But I can see how it could be taken, vodka, whatever.
Yeah, and it
Vodka Drunkinski.
I mean, I think there's fun little things you can do about like where someone's from. Yeah, I mean, if the French guy was named Billy Baguette, that's funny, and I don't think that's offensive.
Yeah,
But nowadays it is.
So Punch-Out took a huge hiatus from 1994 all the way until 2009 when it was released for the Wii. Came out in Japan a few months later.
Imagine Punch-Out.
Yeah, Mac has lost his title. Little Mac has returned. He lost his title to King Hippo, and you have to fight through everybody again and get this back. This is definitely a love letter to the series. They bring people back from all the different games. You have Glass Joe, Von Kaiser. The only new fighter is Disco Kid, which seemed to be referencing Kid Quick, though, if you look back in the data. King Hippo, Piston Hondo. They changed it from Honda. That was the only real change they made to the characters. They said, I don't know if we want to make Honda mad.
It's a Street Fighter thing they're trying to avoid.
No, they were trying to avoid Honda, the car company.
I think
they
Honda.
still can call it. Honda is a very common last name.
Honda in Street Fighter. Yeah.
I believe it's Ichiro Honda.
No, it's Honda.
It's Edmund Honda.
It's Edward Honda, dude.
Edward
Edmund.
Honda.
It's Ed Honda, though.
No,
It
he
is
goes
Ed
by
Honda.
Ed. He goes
It's
by
Ed.
Ed.
Yeah.
He goes by Edward.
Great
yeah.
guy.
Bear Hugger returns. Great Tiger, Don Flamenco, Soda Popinski, Bald Bull, Super Macho Man, Mr.
remember fighting
Sandman,
Soda Popinski, yeah.
and of course Donkey Kong makes his debut.
Of course.
in Punch-Out.
Am I-
They originally wanted Princess Peach, but they thought beating up on a woman might not look right.
Especially after Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Am I losing my mind, or was there a Hulk Hogan at some point in one of these games?
You're losing your mind.
I can picture it in my brain.
My brother and I actually went to Games Done Quick. First time we went to it, SGDQ 2019. And we saw a guy beat Punch-Out Wii blindfolded. That was my first time seeing the game. And you know what's funny? The toughest part about the game for him was using the Wiimote to navigate the menu blindfolded to get to next match. Once he got to the matches, he's like, oh, okay, I get it. Because it's all regular gameplay.
Yeah.
But using the Wiimote blindfolded almost destroyed him. But yeah, he beat it blindfolded. Even partway through, he's like, I won't beat these next two bosses, but we're just gonna go for it. And it was amazing. It was the most hype experience I've seen since Hoop and Stick back in 2003.
Not to be a realist about this, but why wouldn't he just navigate the menus without a blindfold and then put it on? Because menus isn't gameplay.
It is. It is part of the experience.
It is part of the experience.
And this guy has also beaten Zallard one's his name. He beat the NES Punch-Out blindfolded and the Super Nintendo one blindfolded.
Plus, do you want to be the guy that can beat these games blindfolded, but that fucking menu just gets you every time?
Yeah,
It's the hardest boss in the game, bro.
it's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
man, that's kind of weak.
Yeah, it doesn't count. He was peeking. I saw him.
Someone's going to beat Elden Ring blindfolded, and it's going to be very offensive to me.
There's already like speed.
It's going to hurt
runs of,
my
like,
feelings
half
a little
hour.
bit.
Yep,
It's nuts.
And the recent patch affected that to where
That's right.
Yeah, I was listening to the last podcast on the left, and one of them made a joke like, "It's his Hoarfrost stomp," and I was like, "You guys are making obscure Elden Ring references." I love it. But yes, there was also a standalone title for the WiiWare as a platinum reward called Doc Lewis's Punch-Out, where you actually fight Doc Lewis in like a sparring match, and it's lost to the sands of time. If you didn't download it for your Wii back in the day for WiiWare, you won't play it unless you were illegally emulating, which Nintendo will say, we don't like you, bye. And that's most of what I have for Punch-Out. I think it's a really fun series, and I'm glad the Wii one kind of held true to the NES roots. I prefer the more pattern memorization, boss rush style instead of actually boxing and kind of managing stamina and health, which is kind of what the arcade one and the Super Nintendo one did. Yeah. But I love these games. These are great.
They're fun.
I think they're fine. Yeah. I don't hate them, but it's also like it's one of those situations where I go into a game and I'm like, I know this isn't for me. Like, I see why people like it. Like, I see people playing it and their enjoyment, and I'm like, yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I went back and played it when I was in high school because my grandparents had an SNES, and that was one of the games they had. So and I hadn't played it since I rage quit at like 5 years old. But I did enjoy my second playthrough of it. I didn't play it for very long because it's not my cup of tea, but definitely really fun. I also really got into like boxing games after that, but that was after like Xbox 360 and like Fight Night when they decided to go like M for mature and you had the whole prison fights and stuff.
I tried Fight Night. I had so much hope for it, but I couldn't get into it. I like the mechanics of it, but is that vodka Drunkinsky?
That's vodka Drunkinsky. Nice. He's pounding beer, as you can see.
Oh yeah, it says beer. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Does it really?
Nice. It says pop when they changed it. But yeah.
Oh, he's ripped.
Yeah, he's a beautiful guy.
All you have to do, one liver punch, though, brings him down.
Oh, yeah. Hair the Dogcast exists because of people like you. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or thoughts about this episode or anything at all, you can reach out to us on Instagram at Hair the Dogcast, on Twitter at Hot Dogcast. You can also email us at hairthedogcast@gmail.com if you want access to a bunch of bonus episodes, our after show, Doggies After Dark, and an exclusive podcast where we discuss movies and TV. Check us out at patreon.com/hairthedogcast. For as low as $3, you will get a lot of exclusive content.
You absolutely will.
Thanks to executive producers Ryan Christianick, Tyler Keller, King Kippo.
No, that's
relevant.
We fucking did it.
There you go.
You fucking got it.
I stuck the landing there. Brian Ward and Katie Bone, also known as the Bear Hugger. HyperX Podcast Network. We're a member. And check that out, podcast.hyperx.com. Let's do our one for the road, gentlemen. This is where we make a recommendation for anything, anything at all. My one for the road, I'd like to mention Our Flag Means Death on HBO Max. It's Taika Waititi and Rhys Darby's new show where they play. Rhys Darby is a gentleman pirate. You might know him as Murray from Flight of the Conchords. And Taika Waititi plays Blackbeard. It is an extremely inclusive show where they have characters of all, every type, and it's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it.
Go ahead. All right, I'll go. Winning Time, also on HBO, the story of the Showtime Lakers.
I heard it's good.
Comes out on Sundays. I think the fourth episode comes out tonight, and I've watched every episode, and John C. Reilly is just absolutely killing it. Plus,
the basketball one.
Yeah. It's shot.
It's like Hoop and Stick, but a different game.
Yeah. The reason is you.
Yeah, I want Hoop and Stick as a real game.
It's a great show. It's filmed really weird at times. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking, a lot of sex and drugs, and I think the NBA is just probably hating the show, but they licensed the name the Lakers to it. So. Nice. I'm here for it.
You think the NBA doesn't like it, though?
I don't know. There's a scene where Magic Johnson's just having like a whole bunch of sex. And I was like, I don't know who signed off on that because Magic probably did.
If they ever want to make a Dogcast documentary about Dylan's life, I would sign off on that.
Be a lot of
hoop and stick.
I won't go there.
Let's just say people would be clapping everywhere.
Fuck off.
Can that stay in?
Yes.
No, it can't.
Okay. It's officially out. No, it's officially out.
You're
then.
me. You go.
If we're doing HBO,
it doesn't have to be. But.
No, I'm actually going to recommend something on HBO. It's called Smiling Friends. It's an Adult Swim show. Made by Zach Handel, who's known as like Psychic Pebbles. It's really fucking funny. It's really dark and disturbing. It's really good, and it. I don't know. I had such a good time with it. I keep watching it, and I send people GIFs of it. So, I think that means something.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I'm going to say Severance on Apple TV. Fantastic show.
Ew, gross.
Have you watched it?
I don't have Apple.
You're thinking of Deliverance.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Severance.
I'm going to make you squeal like a pig.
Wee! Severance is so fucking good. I'm not one for serialized shows because fuck off character development. You can do that in 5 minutes in a movie, but Severance draws you in. It's a very original concept. Most episodes are directed by Ben Stiller, who is doing a phenomenal job at directing since Secret Life of Walter Mitty, one of my favorite movies.
Oh, really? I've never seen it.
Dude.
The remake?
The remake. It's so fucking good. I can watch that every month.
Are you fucking kidding?
I'm not kidding you.
Have you seen it?
Does it top the Cable Guy, though?
I think maybe. I don't know.
Hands down.
Okay.
Cable Guy is like trash compared to Secret Life of Walter Mitty. But, Ben Stiller has been making a name for himself since Escape from Dannemora, Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Since Heavyweights.
Come
here, you devil log.
Severance is a very high concept, mindfuckery, very high concept, not sci-fi, but it could happen. Is it where people willingly have a brain implant put into them so that they don't remember what they do at their job? They have separate lives from work life to job life.
I mean, I would have liked that a while ago.
I'd take that in my feelings.
But Severance, check it out, folks. Check it out.
Next week, we will have our very first episode of Elden Dogs.
Elden Dogs, dude.
Which we are going to... I did a preliminary outline, and we're going to be doing a very high-up overview of all the gameplay, which it's going to be in-depth in a very big way, and I learned a lot after 90 hours. I even learned more today from doing some more research for this. Like, you don't have to hold sprint when you're on your horse. Tap circle once, and you just keep sprinting.
That changed my whole game right there.
Yeah. There's a lot of little like quality of life things that it's surprising. So, and we're also going to be discussing the lore, at least at the start of the game, so you kind of know what's happening.
Yeah.
And Elden Dogs is coming. It's going to be a long form podcast series about Elden Ring, because there's a lot to take in and digest.
To be honest, the reason that we decided to do this was because we're obsessed. Like, literally, you heard our new releases segment. I'm going to get Kirby at some point, but I'll tell you what, I just don't care right now.
Yeah. Everybody that I've talked to about Elden Ring, it's impossible to not discuss. And it's like, all right, if we want to, we're just going to. And very excited to talk about that. But this has been Hair the Dogcast. Thanks. This has been a great episode.
Yeah, it's been great. Go home.
They're already home.
Shut up.
Yay.
Don't be so harsh, dude.
Stop being Canadian.
Sorry.